Hey friends, so today we are going to finally after so many months now make our very first sourdough. This is our sourdough starter, which we have made together. We've done 3 different attempts together, so I will leave my playlist down below if you want to see my sourdough journey just to even get to the starter. I have procrastinated making this. I'll explain why later on, but she is all nice and bubbly as you can see. So I did feed her about 7 hours ago, I think. I fed her 9:45 this morning. It is now 3:22, so I don't know, about 7 hours. So let's make the sourdough. Before we physically start making the sourdough, we got our bowl, we got our scales here. I got this recipe from a TikTok recipe. I've been going online for blog posts, Facebook forum groups, things like that. There's so many recipes and it's just so much to read and so much information to intake, and I was getting overwhelmed because so many people as well say with sourdough you have to do it by the book or it's not going to work, and so many other people say like it's so relaxing. To be honest, with this starter it is nowhere near as strict as I first thought, so I'm taking my bread making to the more relaxing route as well, just because of my work schedule and the time I have to make the sourdough, because it is going to be over a 2-day process. It's going to be fermenting on the bench and in the fridge, and you have to wait 45 minutes or an hour or 30 minutes depending on your recipe or the way you want your dough to go, with your different folds and things like that. So it is a long process, generally around the 30-hour mark, and I just don't have 30 hours from start to finish to do it because I have other things to do. So this is why it's taken me so long. Even now I'm still not going to do my folds in time, but again, like I said, I'm taking a more relaxed approach. I get to it when I get to it, and we'll just see how it turns out. So again, here is the close-up of the starter. Also a bread that I have learnt, apparently, researched I should say, I haven't learnt it, but what my research I have discovered is you want a high protein bread flour. So this is the one I've decided. It's strong high. I believe it's still unbleached. I'm pretty sure it's unbleached. I can't find it on the box now, but one thing you definitely do want to consider and look at when you're buying your flour is the protein per 100 grams. You want it at least 11%. So this is only 11.9. It's not that high, but I guess for Australia bread flours, this one's quite is high. So that's one thing I was looking at. Also unbleached. I'm sure this is unbleached. I don't know now, but this is what I got. So this is what we're using, and I have some water here as well, some warm water. This TikTok recipe, I will have her name on the screen. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it because I know I'm going to butcher it. So there is her name. I don't know if you can link actual videos. If I can figure that out, I can find a link to the video. I'll leave that down below. But again, I'm not following it completely. I'm just going to be doing it. You know what? I should mix this first. I'm just going to be doing it the more relaxed way, and we'll see how it works out. Alright, so I got my scales on. I've teared out my bowl. This is so cool. I gotta show you guys close up. Look at that. Look how airy that is. Oops. Beautiful. Alright, so we want 80 grams of starter. The rest of this I will be keeping as my starter. So we got 80 grams of starter. We want 250 grams of warm water. This feels so weird because I'm so used to doing like either the 1:2 or the 1:1 ratio. How much did I say? 250 grams of water. Oh, I didn't prepare enough water. 250. And we want to mix these two together to combine. And now with our bread flour, we want 350 grams. Cool. And we want to get this mixed all combined as well. And this will look like a rough dough. Alright, so now we want to cover and rest this for 30 minutes. So I'll show you guys what we're looking like. So very rough, scraggly dough. So now this is going to stay just on the countertop for 30 minutes and then we'll come back to add the salt and mix it in, form it into a nice dough. All right, it's been 30 minutes. Our dough's definitely gone bigger. Still quite sticky, but that's fine. So the recipe calls for, oops, I broke this plastic. You know what, I'll just get a new piece of plastic, that'll be fine. I'll be more careful next time. The recipe calls for 10 grams of salt. I have 3 grams of salt here, which is like a whole teaspoon of salt. So to me, that's a lot of salt. I don't know. So I'm gonna go 10 grams of salt. This is, I believe she's in America. I'm assuming American salt, Australian salt is different. So I've just tipped the salt in here. I'm just gonna be using my hands to mix this salt in, and we wanna form this into a ball. This consistency is already so much different. It's still sticky, but can you see that? That's so cool. That's so cool. So I probably should have floured the bowl, but that's okay. So we'll just play around with this and get this salt incorporated. My hands are very nice and clean. I just diced up like 1.5 kilos of chicken. I'm making gyros tonight, so that's fun. Should I flour my hands maybe? What's the next step? Next is form into ball, rest for another 45 minutes. It's just so sticky. I'm gonna flour my hands. I'm gonna wash my hands and then flour my hands. No, wet hands maybe. Hang on. Wet my hands, get all that off, and let's see if this is any better. Oh my gosh. So much better. Okay, wet hands. Still feel like I should have floured the surface. My gosh, this is like, it's kind of like slime in a way, especially more so now with wet hands. Wow, okay. I just heard like an air bubble pop. This is so exciting. My hands are starting to dry up now, so it's starting to stick again. But can you see that texture? Incredible! We're gonna cover this now and then we can talk. So, another very popular method is to do 3 lots of stretch and fold. She does 1 lot of stretch and fold. So this is what I'm gonna do. She waits 45 minutes and then she does a coil fold, which I've only learnt that today. A coil fold, 45 minutes, another coil fold. And then it's the bulk rise. So I'm gonna say probably another 30 minutes. I'm not gonna do the full 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and then it's whenever I get back to it. It's probably gonna be 2 hours until I get back to it again, but that's just how it is. So, geez, I'm running out of time. Yeah, we'll put the timer on for 30 minutes and then we'll come back. And then, yeah, it'll literally be 2 hours until we start the coil folds. It is what it is. Hopefully it'll be okay. Alright, so let's do our stretch and folds. So, it's been 25 minutes, that's all I had the timer on for. Again, I think I'm gonna wet my hands. That's the dough. Yeah, she's still definitely sticky. I'm gonna grab from one end, stretch it out, whoa, and fold it on top. Rotate, so like act like it's a square, so you rotate in each square. So I'm gonna grab it, stretch it, wow, and flop it on top. I don't know if it's supposed to be this sticky though. It makes me nervous. I feel like it should be this sticky at this point, but it's definitely stretching, as you guys can see. So we do that of all four corners of our square. That's just how I'm figuring it out. Stretching it out and fold it on top. Now I'm just going to go just lightly again, just to try and make it into like a dough, into like a ball. Oh, it's shaved, guys, look at this. Okay, I don't want to touch it, but that is right there, the air bubbles. That's what we want. Incredible. All right, it's been 25 minutes. Again, should have been 45. I just don't have the time. I love how it changes. Okay, I rewatched her video. She did wet her hands at one stage, or oiled them. I'm not exactly sure. They looked wet, either one. And, or at a different stage she wore gloves. We're now going to do the coil fold. I've never heard of the coil fold until today. So what we're going to do is wet my hands, scoop it under. I do feel like this dough is too wet. But oh well. And let it fall on top of itself. And then we're supposed to rotate and do that again. That was just all stuck, so under. So now I'll see how it's folding. And rotate again. Ugh. Under like this. And that's apparently our coil fold. There's just so much excess. It's just so stuck. Maybe I just didn't mix it properly the first time. I should have added maybe a bit more flour. I don't know. But that's it for now. We're going to cover it, and I literally have 20 minutes to spare. So I want to do the coil fold one more time. So in total we've got 3 different folds. But I didn't have time. I thought I didn't have time. But now, because instead of doing 45 minutes in between, I'm doing 25 minutes. I now got 20 minutes, so I was just going to leave it as it's just do the 2 folds. But now we will cover it, wait 20 minutes, and we'll do one more coil fold. Alright, it's been 20 minutes and there is a lot of air bubbles. There is a lot more air bubbles happening now. So we're going to do the coil fold again, wet our hands again. And this is going to be our final fold. So this is technically 2. It's quite hard to do because it's so sticky. So final fold. Now we want it to rise double this size. I'm going out for 2 hours. So I guess it's got at least 2 hours untouched. I will cover it up. So I will cover this up. Look how smooth it is now, like after the folds. I will cover it up, let it double in size for at least 2 hours. I don't know, might even need to be longer. But once it's doubled in size, this is called the bulk rise. So we'll leave it on the bench. This is the bulk rise. I might not update, to be honest, later tonight. I will give you guys an update on how long it took to bulk rise. And then from there, so once it doubles inside, it will go into the fridge and fridge for 12 hours, or it can be even a couple of days. So then that way it will be in the fridge all overnight. Tomorrow we can take it out and then bake, and I'm just so excited. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. But yeah, we'll cover this up, bulk rise, at least 2 hours. I don't know, that might be too long. We'll just see. This is where it's tricky too. You don't want to over-proof or over-ferment the dough, apparently. So yeah, we'll just see. And then in the fridge, take it out, bake tomorrow morning. Good morning, friends. So I've taken it out. The oven is preheated at 230 degrees Celsius. We're going, and I got a baking tray in there. I don't have a Dutch oven. I'm just going to use baking tray with a piece of foil on top for 20 minutes, and then we'll remove the foil. If you had a Dutch oven, you'll take off the lid for another 20 minutes. So let's unravel the bread. It looks kind of, I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but that's just what it looks like. Hopefully we've done okay. So I'll get the tray out the oven. I'll line it with, actually no, we're going to get baking paper out and then we'll score it and stuff like that. So we'll come down on the bench. Right, let's see if I remember this. So we want some baking paper. Just going to dust it lightly with flour. Oh cool, it's not too sticky. I was so worried about this last night that it might be just such a sticky mess. Oh, that's great. Like a little bit stuck, but that is so much better than what I was expecting. We want to brush in a little bit of flour. And now to score. So I don't have anything fancy, I'm just using a super sharp knife. I think I like the look of going around. Like so. And then we'll do little intersections here. No idea if this is deep enough or not, but again, this is our very first dough and we're just trying. That looks cute. Okay. I'm going to set this up to the side here. I got tea towel to protect my bench. I'll go get our hot tray. Whew, that is hot. Okay. Hot tray. I'm going to turn the oven now down to 200 degrees. Pick this up. Hopefully that's okay. I'm going to cut off this excess paper. So just very lightly. Alright, so the oven's now at 200 degrees Celsius. This is going to go in for 20 minutes. I'll take the foil off, another 20 minutes, and then we've got our first sourdough loaf. Hopefully it works out. Alright. The scoring didn't work, but it's puffed up. It looks so good. It's just the scoring didn't work. That's a bit sad. But that's also, I mean, no, that's fine. You can see the bubbles as well. Oh my gosh. This is incredible. Don't you think? This is so cool. Alright, so here is closer, that colour. Like, are you kidding me? That's so cool. And it looks like fluctuating flour, but that's like all baked on. And I do love like a bit of flour on the bread. And see, that's just all baked on. So crusty. And see here, the air bubbles. See there how it's bubbly. But yeah, just my scoring did not work. I don't know if it's ended up splitting because there was no score marks. I'm not sure. Alright, so this is so cool. I'm just going to set it down here, let it cool for about 5 minutes. I'll then put it on a cooling rack, let it cool completely for at least 1 hour before we cut into it. We are going out of town, so it's going to be like later, much later in the day until we do have it and try it and things like that. So I'll insert pictures here of what the inside looks like and the texture of how thick the taste is. The scoring didn't work. I'm assuming I didn't do it deep enough with the knife. I'm sure using a knife is like fine compared to a razor blade, like it's still cut through. I'm just assuming that it's not, I didn't do it deep enough. Otherwise everything from the outside looks perfect, and the crust, oh, I'm so excited. But thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Any tips, please let me know down below. I would love to hear them. And yeah, we'll definitely be trying it again. I'll probably try a few times off camera, and when I get confident and understand the process of what I'm doing, then I'll come back and show you, like show it as a tutorial kind of video and show you guys how to do it as well if you want to start on your sourdough journey. And also, yes, we are going to be doing lots of different sourdough projects. I want to do sourdough bagels and sourdough cinnamon rolls. There's so many different sourdough things. So that will all come in time. But for now, I think I'm going to focus on this bread. But any sourdough recipes that you want me to try, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!